it has been a moment. Not really. I really appreciate y'all watching all of the podcasts and watching everything on our YouTube, and we're on Apple too.
Apple, Spotify.
Yeah.
Got it all.
Yeah. So thank you for that. I think I think you told me this morning we are
195,400 views.
So thank you for liking, sharing, subscribing, pushing it out there to people, and being a part of our family. So of course I'm Dr. Briley and
Austin Tony.
And who do we have here today?
Sandy Clark.
So Sandy is a good friend of mine too. I've been knowing Sandy for some time when I actually worked in the corporate America field. We worked in banking together.
We sure did.
I did 14 and a half years in banking. And
I did.
You did a lot.
I'm not going to date myself.
So I dated myself a little bit. But that banking has always been like a great entity to be in because it has so many parts to it.
Absolutely.
It's just not, you go to a bank, you put your money in the bank, that's that. I mean,
Right.
It's so many departments, so many things to talk about. But today, we're here to talk about something that Sandy has let me know about, and she's going to share it with me and my co-host, Austin, today. So let's get started with something funny first. Something funny, something interesting that has happened in your week.
Don't look at me. Let's ladies first.
Right. Okay. So what do you have for us, Sandy? Come on.
I have to think. Everything I do is hilarious to me because I sit behind a desk. So people come to me looking for hope. They start out looking for hope, and it turns quickly into a miracle. People come to me. I had a client that came from the internet. I never know. I don't get to prejudge anybody, and it happened to be on my son's birthday. So long story short, he calls me, and I was like, "Sir, let's go over." So he says, "Well, I have about 30 minutes before I have to go to work." I said, "We can get it done.
Right.
That'll work. You set the appointment." He said, "Well, 24 was rough for me." And I said, "Okay, I can understand that. Sometimes you have a rough year. Mm-hmm. What do you do?" He says, "Well, I work at a call center." He says, "But I'm living in my car." And I was like, "Okay, well, let's get you to stabilization. That's what I'm supposed to help you do." So he says, "Well, my son got killed." I was like, "Okay, wait.
God.
So then we go on and talk. I said, "Well, I can understand that. It happens to be my son's birthday, and he's been gone a while, and I'm trying to compose my emotions." And he says, "Well, I just had another baby, and we go through his budget." And I'm like, "Are you paying child support? How much are you making?" He was only making about $12 an hour. And I said, "Well, we got to get you out your car. It's not safe." Long story short, he says, "Well, I'm going on a trip." And I said, "Are you going for your job?" He says, "Well, I just move back and forth, and I do this and I do that." And I said, "Sir, you only got 15 more minutes. Let's just get this under wraps so that we can get you to a..." And so he continues to talk, but his expectations were for me to provide him with some form of financial gain in this moment. And I said, "Well, we had grants during the pandemic, but we no longer have them. So let's get you to a place where you can get gainfully employed. And, well, what about my credit?" So we go through his credit line by line. "Can you fix it?" I said, "Well, is this yours?" And he says, "Yeah." I said, "Well, you have to call first and negotiate terms to get it to a place." And we built Operation Hope's mission is to build 700 credit scores. He's like, "Wow." I was like, "Yes. So let's move forward." And your homework, your task is to call this apartment complex that I see on your credit report that says you owe them $50,000.
Right.
So he says, well, let me tell you the story. I said, no, I don't need to know the story. You
Right.
need to take the first step, sir.
Right.
First things first. And then he says, okay, well, can I call you later? I was like, sure, you can call me next week when we talk again after you have called these people. So that's my world that I live in
Right.
on a daily basis. It can be comical. My emotions go from happy to sad in 15 minutes. So I have to drink a lot of coffee.
And be ready to go.
Ready to go. Kind of like when we worked together a long time ago.
Right.
Next, we had to finish calls in 2 minutes and 2 seconds, or else somebody was at our desk going, what are you doing?
What's going on? But yeah, you have to. So that is a testament of like life. You do have those up and down roller coaster rides, and I don't think it's by chance that you got that man on your phone. It was your son's birthday. Sometimes those are like little touches of love, like for real,
right?
Like little touches of love, even though it didn't seem like it, but I bet you that was a little touch of love.
Yeah, he just needed someone to talk to.
He needed someone to talk to, and then you had a similar situation, so it was just like. We always say on this show that relationships are relationships, but I don't think that things just happen just because, like, accidental. Things kind of pass in the night together in a weird kind of way, and sometimes when we just say, you know what, you're right about that. Mm-hmm. So that was just a little touch of love. A comical but little touch of love.
Look, we were happy, sad, funny. Yeah, I didn't cry, so I missed that emotion, but I was able to get him to at least think.
Right.
Think about where you are right now, just kind of like I do my children. I need you to focus.
Right.
Because life happens. And long story short, I said, well, how many kids do you have? And he said 6. I was like, all right. Oof. Next week, we'll talk again on the next show.
That's funny. Well, you know what? Since you was talking about kids, that's one of my stories. A funny story that I was actually at Papa Do's, and I was sitting down, and I like to people watch, and so I was just kind of looking around and people watching and just looking. So this family comes in with a mom, a dad, and 11 kids. I literally was counting the kids, and I was like, 11 kids. This bill, and in my head, I'm thinking about this bill about to be.
No.
So I'm people watching, and enjoying the scenery, and then I look, and I'm like, I say, you know what? I want to see what each kid get. I don't even think they have not Happy Meal, but I don't even think they have a kids meal, kind of, sort of. I don't think so. Well, they were getting elaborate, fish and this and that, and I was like, man, that is so. For me, that was a excitement to see. People don't have big families anymore. Mm-hmm. Like some people have a half a kid. Not even a kid, right? So I got everybody laughing, y'all. So they're probably like counting the heads here in the room, going, "Wait a minute, I'm watching a podcast. I see 3 people, 14 people laughing." No, but yeah, people don't have that many kids anymore, And so it was just I sat back and took that in, like that's amazing, that's good
for them.
That's good. Right? No, but I was like, man, that's amazing. That's good that they kept the family dynamics of, you have children, you have a legacy, you know, and they're able to all go out and eat at a decent restaurant. I'm not seeing them I'm not gonna say any names because I don't want to smoke. But you know what restaurant you are out there that can feed the 11 kids for a couple of dollars.
Right.
But yeah, so that was my story.
That's a lot. That's an event.
That's a whole event,
That's
right?
a whole event.
But I watched, and I was like, look at these kids, and they were so mannerable, and so they were so mannerable. They were saying stuff like, "Excuse me, could you pass me?" And they were passing stuff, amongst the family, and I was like, wow. And I knew that it was their kids because they looked like all of them looked alike. Right. So I was like, okay. That's all their kids.
Jeez.
So what you have?
It's amazing. Thank God nothing crazy happened this week. Cause I feel like the past month's been a lot, but I don't know. Stretched myself thin a lot lately, and my sister talked me into helping redo their patio. They decided they're going to be DIYers and add on to their patio, but it's just like a fire pit rock area, but it has to be built up. So everything in Kingwood is below sea level, so
Right.
you
I did not know that about Kingwood.
I was kidding.
Yeah.
I mean, it is like
Well, parts of it do
sub-zero or whatever it's
flood
called.
and stuff, but there's parts of North Houston that flood, like West Mount Houston,
Right.
Lydia York, Tidwell, Yale. It's just
Right.
some places in areas of
Right.
No, it's low though. So
Is
yes,
it?
it has to be built
Okay.
up. So yeah, we were shoveling sand and dirt, and I'm all scratched up,
helping.
and I'm like, hey, I gotta
I
go
don't
back
see any
to my open
wounds.
house.
Oh.
My one scratch. I'm making such a big deal.
right,
of my
right,
one
like one scratch. No, but that's pretty cool. You always one thing I can say about Austin as a realtor, he's always been the realtor that has went like above and beyond. His clientele, he does things that other realtors go, I don't know, or they might hire, but he really does go above and beyond,
Yeah.
like for his
Awesome.
clients.
Everyone's
Yeah.
at my broker just like, time to chill out.
Yeah. We
You're
don't
gonna
need
set
you to
some
do
expectations that we're not ever gonna do.
No, but that's good though. You do a really good job.
Yeah,
And,
thank
I
you.
always tell people that when they look for a realtor or even someone that's coaching them, like we're going to talk today about, the information in the flyer that you gave about Operation Hope, and it's always good to have the good people in your corner to help you to get to your high rising levels and stuff. So,
Right.
Yeah. So let's get started. Let's not hesitate for the people. Let's get started. So tell me a little bit. So with this, and how long have you been here? What?
November will be 4 years.
Okay. What made you start here?
So I got laid off, and I was in a state of panic, and I'm like, what am I going to do now? And I had researched becoming a life coach, but I couldn't figure out how to monetize it. I get this email for 2 jobs. One job, I could not take any time off ever, and I had just come out of one of those situations
Right.
because they didn't have PTO, vacation, no medical insurance, just work till you just drop. And
Used to that.
I had a choice. They had sent me the equipment, and so Operation Hope, based on the mission statement, based on what they had put on my offer letter, I was like, I can do this.
Right.
I can do this. So Operation Hope was founded, just to give you a little background, take a step back, founded by John Hope Bryant.
Okay.
He founded the nonprofit organization as a result of the riots in LA when Rodney King had things going on, and he went on a bus tour. He also formed the 1865 Project to be able to reopen Freedmen's Bank,
Okay.
which was during Abraham Lincoln's term,
Okay.
to be able to establish a way of banking for black and brown people. Operation Hope used to lend money when they first started.
Okay.
Because they were trying to keep people from going to payday loan places, going to pawn shops, because that's all he saw.
Because it's a cycle, I guess, And let's just say this, because we do talk about luxury in our real estate market, but you'll be surprised how many people that have a lot of money that sometimes have to do and borrow money.
Right.
Because you wonder how those Louis Vuitton bags and all of that stuff get into the pawn shop.
Right.
At some point.
Right. They
And
got a lot of stuff. They don't got a lot of money.
Right.
Right. A lot of stuff. Or overkill with the stuff that they get,
Right.
Right.
So I'm a financial well-being coach. We're responsible and charged to coach anybody from anywhere in all walks of life. So to your point, in the luxury arena, people come in and the loan officers won't do certain types of loans with programs. So they're like, Sandy is our guru. I've been called a wizard. They only need 1 point. I had a client that just closed on her loan or is getting ready to close on the loan. She's in IT. She's single, been living at home, has saved up $50,000, and she makes $250 and travels for IT. And she needed 1 point to get a better rate, not to get the loan, to get a better rate. And she was dogmatic about it. So she said, well, I co-signed for my brother, and he had this apartment that's on my credit, and I paid it off, and it's still on my credit. Can you get it off? Right. So we walked through dispute letters and got it off of her credit. And she's closing in about 15 days because the appraisal came in on the first house that was built brand new, and the house was built crooked. So the other extreme, loan officers with the bank that I partner with.
Approximately how much was that house? Sorry to cut you off, but how much was that house?
$300.
Okay. So
she wanted to stay in the
amount.
Woodlands.
That's a good amount in a house. You know, that's a good amount.
She wanted to stay in the Woodlands.
Right.
So I had another gentleman who is in Dallas. He makes $250. He had taken all of his money. He got to me after someone else got promoted in Operation Hope. He has an MBA. He's from Ghana, and he had paid off all of his students' loans with the money he had in the bank, and he still makes $250. He had an 854 credit score.
That's a good one.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, I really don't need a home. I said, well, you called me. I'm a home ownership coach.
Right.
What can I help you with? He said, well, I can't decide. I need an OG to tell me what to do next because I've taken all this financial advice. I work for AT&T. I got it going on. What are you talking about? I said, well, you did what you were supposed to do.
Right.
Now the ball's in your court, sir.
Do you want a home?
Do you want a home?
Right.
So I got notice from a real estate agent that became a really good friend that's been doing real estate for 50 years. He's finally going to pick something out.
That's good.
So it goes from one extreme to another.
Correct.
I get people that are on the verge of homelessness because of foreclosures, loss mitigation.
Right.
I haven't paid my mortgage since the pandemic started. They still in the home. I get appalled and try to figure out how did you do that because in the state of Texas, 144 days and foreclosure starts.
Correct.
So I know the laws, but these people have been able to figure out a way, a loophole, whatever.
Well, and I think it's a testament too because every loan that is with an institution, whether it's a private sector or a big conglomerate bank, they work with their people differently when it comes to getting ready to kick somebody out of their home. Right. Even though the state laws are here, because when the pandemic happened, our property management company worked with a lot of people in foreclosure. I don't see as many foreclosures as it once was. Mm-hmm. That was just a really scary time for people. But what I did see is a lot of people trying to work with them, like trying to
there are companies in place.
Yeah.
I worked for one for a couple years. Right. So that's how I learned deed in lieu, short sales, keys for cash. So they were doing all kind of stuff to keep people from going into bankruptcy. Right. That was their goal. Just don't file bankruptcy. So those things are out there, but specifically in your luxury world, people just won't simply file their tax returns because they're shuffling money through. They're commingling business money, transferring it around to kids or whatever they got to do because they're running, example, a restaurant that's making them tons of money every month.
Millions of dollars a year.
To your point. And they go buy the biggest vehicle in the world. And they can't just get one of them. They got to get three of them.
Because it's a wife and kids.
Right?
Exactly.
So I work with them too because their credit scores, even doctors,
Yeah.
You're running around doing your dream career.
Right.
And your credit score, you didn't even know your credit score because you don't even have time to check it.
Right. Because you're busy.
Because you're busy. Right. So those people that are so busy making money, getting things done, can be the best client in the world, right, or the worst client in the world.
Right. Because when you say worst, it's not that you can't get it. It's just that sometimes the CPA that they had was where they begun in their career, right?
Right.
So they could have had a CPA that was like, I mean, you paid them $500 to do your taxes.
Right.
And you didn't realize your business has grown and evolved so much that you really need to have like currently I have, but I started out that way. I had a team where inside the CPA's office is attorneys. So attorneys that deal with taxes, tax attorneys. So I tell people all the time, you never know where your business might, if you're saying you're going into business for yourself, you need to start the slate right. And it seems like that's what John
absolutely
is what he's talking about, is starting
right. If you start a business, because we have small business coaches, if you start a business, because I have people that are like my parents, they were, thank God, old enough to retire, draw retirement, 401k, Social Security. My stepfather worked for the VA hospital for 52 years. I've never known anybody to work a job that long, one job. So it's possible. Right. So and he's a veteran. Right. So he's primed to get whatever he wants in America, provided that he can pay for it.
Correct.
So those people are out there. I've had clients that are trying to leave a legacy to their children, and they've walked away from the closing table because their children are not on board because they don't have a will.
Right.
And they don't want to pay for it after something happens to them.
Right.
Or back to the restaurant owner that is making $10 million a year. Net profit $250, but spending I won't even tell you that. So I'm looking at credit card statements. Right. I'm looking at bank statements. I'm looking at tax returns. I'm looking at credit reports. Right. And to your point, if you start, I have a CPA that I have had since my daughter was 3 and she's 36. Right. So he is a CPA that keeps up.
Right.
With the current law. His son works with him, and it's an attorney across the street.
Right.
So you can't play with them, because at 21, I was in Amway and got audited, and I didn't even know what auditing was.
Right.
I'm at the IRS trying to figure out. They're like, how did you make $19,000 and then you said you made $10,000 and we gave you a refund of $2,000, and I'm like, it's right here.
You say it's right here, but that's the importance of when you are with people and you start your business. And because I'm looking at I pulled him up as you were talking, the founder, chairman, and CEO, Operation Hope, looking at everything. He has on here about entrepreneurship and the visionary of really the thought leadership of starting stuff from the first time, so that way you don't get in a situation. But the thing is, if you don't have anybody to teach you, you know what I'm saying, or if you don't know what's out there.
Each one teach one. I talked to the SBA yesterday, and I'm trying to get approval from their legal department just to bring a sign to bring awareness, because I got a call from compliance at Cadence Bank. We need you to talk to them from the personal side, because we can't lend them any money because their credit is already it's marginal. It's at a 650. Right. But to start a business, to get any kind of funding, you need a 700. Sometimes a 720.
And the other testament to that too is that sometimes people don't have their business structured correctly and they're running everything through their name, like through them. I see that all the time. Like they're running everything through them, so it makes their credit score, you know, as their business is growing, they're still running it through not an EIN number. They're running it through everything about them instead of making sure it's just.
That's a huge mistake. Because you're not only, I'm going to tell you why it's a huge mistake. You are now liable personally. If I sell you this pamphlet for $10 and you chew it and choke on it, you can sue me for $10 million.
Right.
You have to take a step.
Suing is real out there.
Everybody's suing everybody right now because whatever. I won't mention no names.
Yes,
like you
please
said, I don't want to smoke. Everybody, put your hand on your Bible. Put your hand on your Bible. Just do it right.
Yeah,
the first
that's
time.
the thing.
That's
so
the essence of what. And he does podcasts. He was here for the Black Expo. We did Financial Literacy Day. We wore green socks because he said in America, it's not about what color your skin is. It's all about green.
Correct.
It's all about green. Green is a new color. Would you agree?
What I wish I knew at the start. Trusting BlueScorpion Property Preservation Management Group with our commercial landscaping was the best decision ever. BlueScorpion Property Preservation Management Group has been transforming commercial spaces into green paradises. Our clients can't stop raving about us. Just listen to what they have to say.
First client review. Our property has never looked this good. 5 stars all the way.
Second client review. Professional, reliable, and simply the best in the business. 5-star service.
From lush green lawns to vibrant floral displays, we've got it all covered. Our dedicated team ensures your property not only looks great but stands out.
Third client review. Their attention to detail is incredible. Our landscaping has never been in better hands. 5 stars.
Whether you're a business or an individual, BlueScorpion Property Preservation Management Group brings expertise, reliability, and a touch of magic to every project. Ready to transform your property? Join the 5-Star Club! Because at BlueScorpion Property Preservation Management Group, we believe every property deserves to shine. BlueScorpion Property Preservation Management Group, where properties thrive.
If you don't have no green.
I know my brokerage is green. I was thinking about that. I was like, green's not really my color.
But if I hand you money.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. That's green is in. No, so let's go into, I know you have a couple of questions, Austin. So
yeah, so getting into what all you do with coaching.
Yes.
Kind of tell us a little bit about, I know I read some stuff on your website that it not only stops at just the closing table. You're not just preparing someone to get a mortgage. You help coach throughout, almost like a CPA or
we
an
take
accountant.
a holistic approach to the person. I reach out to you post-closing, make sure the closing went well. Okay, let's get you a couple of light bills and redo your budget.
Gotcha.
Because the goal is, it's a journey in buying a home. That's one of the biggest purchases that most people make, is buying a home.
Right.
Whether you stay there to flip it, or you stay there as your homestead, or create a legacy for your family. The goal for me as a person morally and Operation Hope is that you can sustain that so that you can build a legacy and move on from there. And then move across to investing or whatever it is to make sure you have simple things, because I do it in the presentation almost weekly. When you buy a home, you need a will. You need to keep up with your closing documents. You need a warranty on your house, homeowners insurance, and in Houston, Texas, people think they don't need flood insurance. It's your choice.
You need it. It's your choice, but for the areas that don't have, that's not in the floodplain, because I know they did some redistricting. Again, they redistrict here and did this and did that. But to be honest, in Houston, boom, too much rain, you could be in an area that doesn't flood, and you can absolutely get flooded.
Right.
And flood insurance is in Texas right now, Houston, Texas, about $800 for the year. That's really, I mean, if you think about what you spend in 800, you know, it's not that much.
So during Harvey, I'm at my parents' house, and my husband pulls the car in the driveway, and then we're like, okay, everybody should be okay, right? Well, we got 6 feet of water, and my car is at the edge. So who loses their car?
Right.
Sandy.
Right.
And I had to go 8 months without a car because you got to go through insurance.
Yes.
Gap. My parents was like, "You're not making a claim on my insurance," and I ended up. BMW Financial some kind of way says you owe us $5,000. I said, excuse me? So they were like, da, da, da. I said, I wrote them a letter, and it was standard, prove it. Prove it. I'm going to the CFPB because I don't know how you're counting interest on a car that's been flooded. Not only that, the particular car I bought had recalls all over the place, and it could not rain on the car.
Oh my gosh.
So that was your
Can't go to
story.
the
You
car
should have
wash.
said in the very beginning.
I was traumatized by that. I don't want to start with trauma.
Oh my gosh.
No, but it looks like they have a good program. How long has their program been into effect? How long has he been doing it? I think you
33
said
years.
33 years. Wow. And so approximately over 33 years, do you even know, not like, you might not know the exact total of people that
Millions.
That's what I'm saying. That's amazing. Like, if you truly think about it, because all of these people need some type of touch, whether it was like a big way or, oh, all you need is this, you know, because they don't talk about this enough.
Right. It's just, most people just need somebody. That's what a coach does.
Right.
Just like if you were on any kind of team, I coached the coach out of Dallas yesterday. I said, you're a football coach.
Right.
I'm a coach.
Right.
I'm just a coach.
Right.
It is your job. This is your homework, A, B, C. I'm going to email it to you. You let me know. I'm going to go at your pace, not my pace.
Right.
Different than a life coach because they want to hurry up and get to the next person.
Right.
We go at your pace, not at our pace, because the homework the system is designed for you to go in there and go do self-help stuff. There are banking 101 if you say you're not good at banking or you're married to somebody that's not good at banking. Credit and money management. The next thing, student loans. These doctors out there trying to get a home and the student loans have hit.
Right.
And the hospital was supposed to pay them off.
Right.
You're responsible for the one thing that's important. Your social security number is on this credit report, and whoever is the servicer, you must call.
Right. Because that's important. I think people don't realize that, too, because you can get out of school and have a gazillion degrees like me. No. No, seriously, 'cause a lot of them, and then look and say, wait a minute, you know, going to school is not cheap.
Nope.
And especially if you went to private schools like me, that is not cheap. That comes with a price tag, for real. So after that, you go, okay, what can you get out hopeful? You get out happy. You get out of
Well,
school.
that's what education.
Yeah.
That's our generation.
Yeah.
I won't date you because you're cute. Our generation was
21.
our generation was told go to school, get a good job.
Correct.
And
Correct.
we did that.
Correct.
Right.
Our
But the dynamics
children
changed.
are making money doing TikTok videos.
Right.
Right. So the dynamics has changed too. So that even tells you financial literature of teaching people how to fish is even more important than ever before, because just like you said, the 20s and the 30s, they're not staying at a job for 50 years like your father. They're not doing that, and thank him for his service, but they're not doing that. And they're not putting their money in 401ks either.
They're not. They're not putting. They don't have enough.
Right.
They don't have enough net income.
Right.
To do that. They think.
Right.
They think. Because I didn't make a whole lot of money as a manager at a bank.
Right.
But I had enough sense that they said put 5%, and I did that. And when I needed it, it was there.
And that's what I tell people too, because I said, you know, when people look at different people's lifestyles, I said you have to realize I come from an era where there was a cassette player, and now we, you know, doing TikTok and all of this. So back then they taught us while we were working, put your money here. I mean, I'm gonna date myself, savings bonds. Then I don't even know if they sell that no more.
I used to get them for my kids.
Yeah,
and when they got to
$50,
college,
yeah,
they paid for books.
Exactly. So a lot of my college was paid by savings bonds and stuff like that. So it's of a different era, and really nobody's having that conversation with the 20s and 30-year-olds right now to get them to understand.
So John Hope Bryant has taken 2 steps recently in the last 30 days that he's very aggressive about. He says, number 1, AI. It's a level playing field. Nobody knows. Nobody understands it. It's the way of that things are going. You use visuals all the time in real estate, for example. You can show somebody a house. They can buy it off of the internet if they chose to. And the second thing he's done in Atlanta and done a really good job with the mayor is he has gotten the mayor to put $50 in every kindergartner's account. And he makes the parents go through credit and money management so that they won't take it out. The goal is to put a little bit in, a quarter every week, by the time the child gets 18. And this was before the states are mandated to pay for education, to make sure. Then he goes into, he has a partnership with City Trends and Santander Bank, where they went into the high schools and they took these kids through financial literacy education. They got a jacket, they got a backpack, they got all these bells and whistles. Delta Airlines is another partner. They put $1,000 in an account per employee. So we have these big partners. Walmart did the financial literacy green sock challenge. We had to buy socks through Walmart. Granted, they were only $4, but that got the word out to be able to literacy. You can't take literacy for granted. I think my mother taught me how to read. That's the best thing she could have ever done for me. Because there's people still out there. I get clients, I can't read.
Right.
So it goes, financial literacy is important. I was watching YouTube videos. There are amazing talents in the music world, for example. They couldn't read music. Somebody had, but they could play by ear. So don't hide your talent.
Correct.
Do not hide your talents, because you will lose them. You will lose them. It's a known fact. So people have all these talents. You must learn how to monetize your talents. Have somebody coach you. I couldn't have done anything without somebody sitting next to me, or somebody in school when I didn't understand. College, same thing. Banking, same thing. We go to class as often as they put them out. We go to class independent of Operation Hope, so that we can be the best resource to be able to deliver to everybody in all stages of life, starting out all the way to 5 years old.
Well, and I could tell you're very passionate about it, and that's a good thing, because that means you really are finding your niche with what you're doing. And that's giving back to people in a sense too. So not only do you get paid to do something that you're passionate about, but also you're giving back in a certain way. We talk about that all the time, how rewarding it is to finally find your place. You know, finally find what you're supposed to do in life in order to help be the change agent.
Absolutely.
To
we
me,
used to
yeah.
talk about that back in the day. I think you were like 21, and we're talking
Yeah.
about
Right.
change agents. And we're
Right.
like, we got to change clothes. What are you talking about change agents?
Right.
So that has given me some purpose and some direction and a voice, because if you remember back in the day, I wasn't very boisterous to anybody. I would just sit. Mama told me to do my job.
I was the voice. I mean, you know, and for those that's watching and knew me back then, I give y'all my slogan. I used to tell people, catch a brick.
To what?
Catch a brick.
Oh.
Because I was, catch a brick. Yeah, I did. I was not one to mess with. Right. I was ready to, you know, I was one not to mess with when it comes into the court. He said, I believe that in the corporate world, because in the corporate world, it's a dog world. Like, seriously. Like, you could be, you know, going somewhere. So it wasn't, I think where we're going now in pushing lifestyles and careers in helping people, holding out a hand, grabbing somebody to help them. You know, kind of like what we were talking about a little earlier, is that we were trained to go to school, get a good job, and then compete. So yeah, I was the catch a brick girl. You catch a brick, because I was the competing one, because you had to be a competitive person to get yourself on top. It wasn't none of this hand holding, but now we understand that concept don't work.
Right.
That don't work. It only works for one person, whoever the winner is.
Right.
It doesn't work for everybody. And then what you find out after year after year after year, 10 years go by, that we got a bunch of people that don't care about nobody but their self. And that's not the way to be. So programs like what he created, things to empower people, that's a good thing.
Empowerment is priceless, because I came out of a messy divorce, lost everything. And everybody thought I was a lunatic, but I knew what I was talking about.
Right.
Because when I got to court, because this happens to a lot of women and men,
Right.
when I got to court, I was like, enough. And they were like, it's nothing here. He spent all the money. You
Right.
want the house? I can't pay for it. Give him everything. Make him pay for it.
Right.
Give him everything.
And that
Make him
happens
pay
a
for it.
lot. But that happens a lot in, like, when you get clients, like, you know, whether you get them in real estate, or even I get a chance to sometimes see it firsthand being a property manager, because I'm like, oh, she's throwing this stuff out. Okay, there. Okay, lawn guys, just go around the clothes. You know, let's act like we don't see that. You know, oh, there's a briefcase that just got thrown out. Okay, go around the briefcase and just hit the lawn. You know, just. But you know, you get clients that, because your life plus what you're trying to build is together. It merges together.
Because you're supposed to be one when
Right.
you get married, or if you have a roommate, you're a team.
Yeah.
You're a team.
Right.
And if one part of the team is not pulling their weight, I had this conversation with my manager yesterday. She said, you need to know your worth. I said, I'm number one this month, so I know my worth.
All right, so you were telling me some good news with you. So tell me that. What are you?
So I was number one in 2 categories.
Okay.
I did $2 million in approvals for the month of July, and I got the most new clients.
That's awesome.
That's good.
That's awesome.
$2 million, people.
And I'm not talking about one loan.
Oh wow! Congratulations.
Yeah.
That's
Thank
really
you.
good.
That's awesome.
So not only did you help people,
And
you
I
were
have
able
to
to get them to where they need
I
to
have
be.
to help people. We go out, just like the disaster that happened in San Antonio and the surrounding areas. We have to go out, boots on the ground, no pun intended, and meet people to get them through FEMA claims.
Right.
And that is, people are devastated. I had a client last year who, I think it was Ileana, Rice University professor. She should know. She couldn't work no more because of ailments. They built a beautiful house near U of H, metal roof. The storm came through and destroyed it. Her husband's a nurse. He thought he was getting ready for retirement because I had coached her for a good year before, and she was like, "Oh, you did a great job, giving me all these compliments." Then she calls me back, and so I had to take her through an independent adjuster to get the insurance company. She called me back. We just paid for a house in Clear Lake. We're okay. I just want to let you know we're okay. Then they had to come back, try to sell the land, and people were just all over the place with the offers. She called me back again. She said, "We sold the land. I paid off the house."
Wow. And see, and that's what it's about in real estate. You know, it's people think it's just a little bit of this, a little bit of that. It's a whole team behind the scenes working on a bunch of stuff. And when you get an opportunity, you tell him, Dr. Bryant said, "Good job." For
I
real.
will.
Good job, because this is important for people to understand, and this is important for teaching people how to fish and doing it in such a way that it impacts a legacy, because that's what he's created, that impacts a legacy. So can you tell us how to get in contact with you as time goes by so fast, y'all. It goes by so she's looking at she turned around. But no, it goes by so fast. But tell us, how can we get in contact with you? How can we get
You
in
can go to
contact?
operationhope.org. My name is Sandy Clark. I'm Houston Cadence coach. I partner with Cadence Bank, and I can be reached at 832-237-6747 or sandy.clark@operationhope.org.
Okay. Well, we appreciate you taking out the time, and I'm serious. When you see Mr. John Bryant, you tell him I said job well done.
You
Seriously.
can send him an email. I saw him. I can't get to him. He saw me. I was the only coach in the crowd at the luncheon. He said, "My she right here."
But no, we really appreciate you sharing this information with our family out there, our internet family.
I wish you well. You guys have a dynamic show. I watch it all the time. When it pops up on my phone, I was like, "Dr. Briley, it's time to watch the show."
Time to
It's
sit down and watch the
time
show.
to sit down and watch the show. I'm waiting for your son to jump in at some point, because I appreciate your friendship.
Yeah.
I appreciate our relationship. We have had. She courted me when I was pregnant, and her mother took care of my baby.
Yeah, we
and
go
I
way
love
back.
her family to death.
Me too.
Well, yeah, Austin does too.
Me
Austin,
too.
he got a chance to meet my family. He's like,
Pure
they just pure gold. I just love your
A
family.
heart of gold. I
Yeah.
would pay her mother come back, and she'd spend the money on the child. I was like, "What are we doing?"
She is
Yeah.
my woman.
Yeah,
Oh
she
my
is just
God.
so pure.
She is
Her
so
dad,
pure.
too.
I
Dad's
know,
so
they
pure.
both are.
And it's, and
And Tiffy too.
then they got this alligator woman over here. No. No, but we thank you for coming on the show, and
I would love to get to know you better. Take you
If
to
she'll allow
lunch.
it.
You gotta ask the boss.
Just kidding.
but it's all good. But that's what we like to do on our show. So I thank you for tuning in, and once again, stay healthy, wealthy, and wise, and we will do the same. Bye.
See y'all.